Good morning, Muscatine. It is Thursday, the 18th, and it's still nice out. I still can't see outside, so I'm hoping I'm right. Couple of quick things just to kind of give you for graduation for MHS is Sunday at 2 o'clock. We'll be broadcasting it, of course. We'll probably go live about 1:45. Just so that everybody has time to find it, get ready, get comfortable, get your popcorn and all that stuff. You'll be able to watch it, of course, on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Discover Muscatine if you don't get notifications. Also on discovermuscatine.com, we'll have it right there on the homepage where you'll be able to click on it and watch there. And of course on PCTV Channel 3 on MPW Cable, and Channel 9 will also be carrying it as well, because we partner with Chad Bishop and MCC and those guys on a lot of stuff, and we just want to make sure that there's every possible way you could stumble into graduation, you're going to be able to find it. So again, just real quick, it's Sunday at 2 o'clock. We'll be live a little bit before that. Facebook, YouTube, discovermuscatine.com, MPW Channel 3 and Channel 9. That's a lot. Real quick, hope you took notes. There will be a test later. But we've got something a little more, I don't know, fun. Because graduation to me, I mean, it's fun, but it's also like this serious, somber thing. Hilary's got like cool, fun stuff, like the non-somber, like life-changing graduation, cool stuff to talk about. How are you?
Graduation. I'm good. I'm excited. Graduation's coming up. Congratulations to all the graduates at all our area schools. It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, there's like 700 of them. Like, people don't realize, okay, so we got Muscatine, but if you add up the other schools, that's also like a whole nother Muscatine out there. So, I mean, there's, I don't remember what the total number was, but yeah, it's like high 600, 700 kids graduating
that's
every
awesome.
year from Muscatine County. So, yeah, holy cow. So, speaking of kids, let's just make a really awkward segue from 18-year-old kids to maybe younger kids. How's that? That sounds like a good thing. Well, actually, first, for those that don't know, if you could introduce yourself and give them a quick idea of what you do down at United Way.
Sure. My name is Hilary Henke. I'm the Community Engagement Manager at United Way of Muscatine. So what that means is I run our volunteer center, so I organize Day of Caring events and volunteer opportunities year-round. I also oversee our Kids First Fund. I do the resource development there, so just kind of anything that involves community engagement. I can come out to different businesses and bring volunteer opportunities to you through like kit building. We have reading mentors and reading buddies that I oversee. Our Educate United committee is very involved with that, and just a lot of really great stuff that's going on in our community. So if you ever have interest in getting involved, whether it is through monetary donations or just involvement in other ways, you can always reach out to me, and I'm happy to get you connected.
So yeah, basically just call Hilary. It's basically, you can email too. You don't have to
Yes,
call.
absolutely.
So speaking of Kids First, what all do you have coming up for that?
So we have our next Kids First Pancake Breakfast is May 26th from 7 to 9 a.m. at Crossroads in Muscatine. Their address is 1424 Hauser Street. So we will have breakfast there. It's pancakes, sausage, eggs. We'll have coffee, orange juice, all the stuff there. So we really are looking forward to that. If you are not able to attend in person, we will take pre-orders to go. So you can call our office at 563-263-5963 and let us know how many orders you'd like to place ahead of time and what time you want to pick them up, and we'll have them ready for you there, so you can just walk in, grab your orders, and take them to all your coworkers or your staff, your friends, whatever that might be, and we would love to have you there to support the fund. The Kids First Fund, I guess I should explain that too.
Absolutely.
It was established to eliminate barriers to education and participation in extracurricular activities. So we recently expanded it to include preschool students because oftentimes we see that they have a need too. They need shoes to wear to school. They need school supplies, various things like that. So the fund was established back in 2009 by a group of community members, and it's really grown since then. So in 2022, we helped over 1,000 kids in Muscatine County to the tune of $30,000. And so lots of different things. We've paid for college applications for the older kids. We're talking about graduation, but also things like shoes, backpacks, school supplies, registration fees for extracurricular activities,
like
band equipment,
softball.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Like that. Yeah,
Yep.
Which is awesome. And it's what I love about it is it's a typical Muscatine thing. There's a need, we fill the need. But what I love about how the Kids First, it's flexible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes a kid needs a pair of cleats, or I don't know if that, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys can solve the local problem right at the level it needs to be. It doesn't have to go to a million places somewhere, you can just be like, hey, there's a problem, we can go fix it within reason,
Absolutely. Yep.
But, it's not, and it doesn't have to be this big deal. It can just be like, hey, contact Hilary, get it done. You do a quick call with them just to kind of see what they need, and then poof, it all just sort of, I'm sure it's not just poof, it happens, but that's what it looks like to everybody else, because United Way does a really good job with this stuff.
And thanks to all of our donors and supporters. We couldn't do this without them and without our Kids First committee, for sure. But yeah, the goal of the fund is so that there's not a lot of bureaucratic red tape like there are for a lot of other things. So it's the resource navigators typically, or teachers or counselors at the school identify a need. They send me an application or contact me, and then we're able to fill that need quickly. So that's kind of how it's designed to work. So there's not a big wait time, because if somebody needs warm clothing in the winter or shoes that aren't falling apart, we don't want them to have to wait a long time. We want to be able to get that to them right away.
Yep. And that's awesome. So Kids First Pancake Breakfast, the 26th, right?
Yes.
So, and it's out at Crossroads, so on Hauser Street, kind of like in between Fulham and that sort of an area, in between the high school and Fulham on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Makes sense.
1424 Hauser Street.
Addresses, some addresses. Give them landmarks.
Actually, that's probably easier for most people, isn't it?
It is, because everybody's like, well, wait, where is that? I'm like, by the thing, and they're like, oh yeah. So that's how everybody navigates Muscatine, because it's not like we have a grid. It's not like you can go 13 blocks this way and take a right. It's like, go up the hill and then across this bridge, and then so just go out to Hauser, you'll find it. There's a big sign. You really can't miss it. But anyway. So the other thing that's you guys have kind of I'm going to say started, but that's really picked up, and I love this new relationship with Wilton, is you've had Days of Caring, the spring ones. You had Wilton start.
Yes.
You had a bunch of the schools.
Yep.
What all? Because I'll miss one. But so what all did you guys have?
Absolutely. So we had Falcon Day of Caring, which was L&M high school students. That was April 21st. And then right after that same night, we actually celebrated MCC students for their Silver and Blue Awards at the MCC Awards banquet. So that was a big thing. And then we had the first ever Wilton Day of Caring on May 10th. And we had students from the high school and local businesses that participated in that. And that was super exciting for me, because I actually had employees from local businesses that reached out and said, can we do this too? Absolutely you can. So I look forward to making that an ongoing annual event. And then we had Muskie High School Day of Caring. We had some junior high kids participate in that as well through the IJAG program. And that was last Friday, May 12th.
Yeah. And so just a quick connection, remember IJAG, John McConnell was here earlier this week. Yeah, because this is the group that went to state, did really well. They had one kid qualify for nationals. Really great project-based learning program at the high school. And one of the other things, in addition to all that business stuff that we talked about, is the Day of Caring.
Yeah,
so,
yep. They do volunteer work, and they try to get involved in the community however they can. Yeah, so it's a great program.
It is. Let's see.
So one other thing I should mention with that is, in total, in just those 3 days, we had 664 volunteers complete 2,687 hours of volunteer service and 68 different projects. So that's huge. The impact that they made for senior citizens, for nonprofits, for local community parks and community spaces, cemeteries, and those smaller communities like Moscow and Wilton, it's run by a group of volunteers, and a lot of them are retired folks that are doing that. And so to have these people that have the physical ability and determination to go out there and help the community, it makes such a huge impact and such a big difference.
Well, and there's a lot of times where the retirees are a great intellectual resource. They've got that institutional memory of how everything can be done and needs to be done, but they don't always have still the physical stamina and stuff to go out and do it. So if you can combine the volunteers that have the memory and know what needs to be done with some fresh hands, it also kind of starts help train the next generation. Because like down the road, they'll be the ones that know what's going on, and you know, it helps kind of like improve the stability of the overall community, because it's not all just landing on one person to handle this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And it's nice, you know, even though a lot of those people still have the physical ability to do it, when you have a big group of people helping you out, oh my goodness, like it can get done so much faster.
Thank you. I'm going to clarify that. I didn't mean that all retired people can't physically, like that was not at all what I meant to imply if I did.
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. Like extra hands, many hands, light work. That's where I was going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think to your point though too, it's, you know, there's a lot of times it's like one group of people that's always done something and they continue to do something, but there will come a point when somebody needs to step in and fill those shoes, and now we're training the next generation of people on how to do that.
There has to be this ordered succession, right? And it's, you know, every nonprofit should be, if they're not, working on succession planning, right? Or at least some sort of like, especially if they've got like long-term, you know, in their board planning and all that. And I know you guys have conversations about this with people and stuff, but like, if one person starts something, that's great, right? And it's cool, and it'll, you know, usually last as long as that person's passion exists, right? But when you can really make either long-term generational change is when those extra people start coming in, and you can start passing it without the big drop-offs.
Right. And it's about the community coming together. I think what's really great about Muscatine is we don't operate in silos, right? All the different organizations and businesses and community members come together for causes, and when we do that, that's where we make transformational change. Yeah,
and it's gotten so much better. I mean, because it hasn't always been that way. I mean, and it's been a concerted effort by, I'm going to call it leadership of Muscatine, but what I mean by that is every individual nonprofit, every government organization, every business has bought in, you know, and there were times where it's like, well, wait, I do this, you do this, but everybody figured it out, like, because usually there's more than enough need to go around, right? If we all just make sure we're not duplicating, we can serve a lot more and be a lot more effective, and then it takes the stress off of everybody too, because it's like, okay, they got that, if they need help, they'll holler, I've got this, if I need help, I'm not going to struggle, I'm going to make sure I holler. And you know, you guys have obviously been key, like you guys, the community foundation, and like being able to be kind of some of those central hubs, like with the volunteer coordination and things like that, that has really made a big impact in Muscatine over the last, fill in the blank years, pick a number, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is. But did you guys do anything cool lately?
So the Day of Carings were pretty cool. Coming up, though, we are registered with Birdies for Charity. So if anybody would like to support United Way, this would support, like, you know, housing and education programs in Muscatine. Our goal is to increase self-sufficiency. So our new ALICE report actually just came out.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
And so that stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. So the ALICE population are the population of people who are working but still struggle to meet their basic needs every month. So they're having to make those really tough decisions, like, do I pay for my medication? Do I pay for my child's childcare? Do I pay for transportation? Do I pay my rent? Like, what decision do I have to make this month in order to make ends meet? And it's a struggle for them. And now in Muscatine County, what the new report just found is that you need to make over $62,000 a year to support a family of 4. And 70% of the jobs in Iowa don't pay that. So it's definitely a struggle. 38% of people in Muscatine County fall into the ALICE population or below, so 12% are poverty level, and the other 26% are those ALICE populations. So where we focus is education and housing, affordable and sustainable housing, and education and training programs to help people get above that ALICE threshold so that they can be self-sufficient and have what they need to support themselves and their families. But it's tricky. There's, you know, if you are a single female household with children, 76% of those households in Muscatine County are in the ALICE population. If you're 65 and older, 50% of those households are in the ALICE population. And the same thing if you're 25 and younger, it's a higher percentage. So It's hard. People are definitely struggling, and that's why we're there to help them out. So Birdies for Charity, if you are interested, you can donate to United Way of Muscatine through that. Our bird number is 2326. And the great thing about donating through Birdies for Charity is, number one, you get an opportunity to pick how many birdies you think and maybe win a lease on a Lexus. The other thing is they guarantee a minimum of 5% match to your donation that goes back to your charity. So it's a great way to make your dollar go further. So we would love it if you can donate to United Way of Muscatine through Birdies for Charity.
Yeah, because, and Birdies and tying into the Alice is great, because the thing that I, again, love about what you guys do is, like if somebody has their house burned down, that's an obvious need. You know what I mean? Like that's blatantly obvious to anybody looking at a situation, right? But the Alice population, more often than not, if you just observed that family or household, you probably wouldn't think they were struggling, right? Because, people have a tendency to mask if they're having problems, right? And they may not be visible things, like you said, medication, maybe, whatever it is. And it may not be that they have struggles every month. It may be that, every other, or you know what I mean? Or those things that you don't see. And that's where I think people sometimes kind of get a little bit of a disconnect with what the real need is, because they don't see it. And that's what I love. You guys obviously you know that data so well that you know what it takes to help solve those problems, to take those stressors off of people and help them live a better life, which if they're living a better life, it just snowballs down to a better community.
Right.
So.
And it's being able to fund programming. I mean, we focus a lot on, maybe our focus at United Way isn't necessarily on like the brick and mortar housing, but our focus is on programming. So we fund programming and provide support for those families so they can access transitional housing or have resources available to them so they can solve those problems and stay in their home so they don't have to go to the homeless shelter. Although that's another great resource that we help fund, is if you need a place to go, you have one. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can support that way.
So last time you were here, you were talking about an event that looked like a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I saw it. I wasn't able to go. I had another commitment, but I really wish I could have, because it looked like a lot of fun. You guys had Night at the Races for the first time in
11 years.
11 years. How did it go?
It was fun. It was a good event. So Heinz was our sponsor. Thank goodness for them. And we had so many other wonderful race sponsors. We had Midwest One Bank that ran like the cashier's table, so people are placing their bets and doing all of that. We had funny money, so like fake money. So Midwest One Bank cashiers, huge shout out to them for running that. And then we had our MC, Kevin Custis, volunteered to do that. He works at HNI, and his wife's with Rule and Rule, and he just did a phenomenal job. So we had fashion show. The Armstrong brothers came out in full derby attire. They looked amazing. So many other people did. So we had a phenomenal time. A lot of great silent auction items were donated to benefit education and housing. And then the community just really showed up, and they do a great job of showing up for us. And we had so much fun. So many volunteers that helped put this event together. Sarah Carlson was a huge one with Rule and Rule. She was on our planning committee, and she just went all in to help us out.
Imagine that, Sarah Carlson going all in on something.
Yeah.
I would have never imagined. And that's, I saw the picture. So like, scroll back through their Facebook page, and here's the thing: if you want to like feel better about your day, just take a minute, scroll through the United Way Facebook page, because as you scroll back from today, you'll see like all these Day of Caring pictures. Like there's tons. And then you run into a whole bunch of people in huge hats, all dressed up, having fun, and solving problems while they're at it. So it's a tremendous thing that you guys orchestrate. So I'm glad it went well.
Yeah, it was a really good time. So, and we had a wonderful turnout, a lot of great support.
So kind of a quick recap for everybody to make sure that they remember everything they're supposed to. So pancake breakfast next Friday out at Crossroads.
7 to 9 a.m.
Oh, 7 to 9. 7 to 9. Pancake sauce, a whole 9 yards. Just go have breakfast. It'll be good. It always is. And then they just did their Days of Caring. And I assume do we have dates for the fall ones yet?
Yep, September 20th will be our fall Day of Caring, but we also have Intern Day of Caring coming up on June 28th. So we've got interns from HNI, Bayer, Kent, and MPW that are all participating. We'll have about 112 interns, and so I'm looking for projects for that now, and I've got a few of them trickling in. I know It Takes a Village is registered, so I'll be surprised if that's not one of the first ones to go. They get to go help walk dogs and whatnot, so I'm sure that'll fly.
I can't imagine Megan wouldn't be there right away going, hey, we could use some help.
Yeah, so I'm really excited that they're registered on our volunteer website now too. So if you're ever looking for volunteer opportunities to do that, It Takes a Village is now on our website. So if you love animals, you can go on there and see what opportunities they have.
That's awesome. Which actually, let's take a quick second. I know this wasn't on our list, but let's take a quick second and talk about the volunteer function.
Yes.
Like what people can do, because I think it's awesome, and it's harder to do than you think. So it's great that you guys do it. So people can basically just go onto the United Way website and find volunteer opportunities.
Yeah, so it's volunteermuscatine.org, which we run that website, but yes, you can access it from our website.
So I always get to it through the United Way.
Absolutely. So volunteermuscatine.org, if you want to go directly to that, you can create a sign-in if you don't already have one, but you can see all kinds of volunteer opportunities, whether it's through United Way, like reading mentors or math mentors or reading buddies, or whether it's through another organization like the MCSA or It Takes a Village, what have you. We have a lot of different organizations on there registered, and there's a ton of volunteers on there too. So if you are a nonprofit that needs volunteers, we have over 900 volunteers that are on that website that are looking for opportunities all the time. I know our Key Club kids use it, and Silver and Blue and Wilton use it, Silver and Blue at MCC use it, but so do the general population. It's free. You can track your hours, which I encourage everybody to do, because the hours that are tracked on that website go up to the state of Iowa, and they report out on that. So they can see, as a county, Muscatine County, how many volunteer hours were completed in this year, and then the state of Iowa does it, and it's reported out nationally too. So it's a really great way to see the impact that volunteers have made in our community. And plug for our Live United event that'll be in February. If you want to win the hand raiser award for your organization or yourself, the hours have to be logged on the volunteer website in order for it to count in 2024. So
is that new?
Yes, that's new. We didn't do it in 2023 because we didn't really give people enough notice.
Right.
But we announced it like starting last fall, and then announced it at our Live United event last year. But it's always good to remind people. So track your hours. We know there's a lot of great work being done in Muscatine. We just really love to capture that.
It is. And it's fun because, like, I'm going to go into my math nerd side of this. Like, what I think is really cool about it is there's an economic value to all of this, right? Mm-hmm. And you can throw a dollar amount at an hourly volunteer.
Yes.
And you can then figure out how much value these volunteers generate. Mm-hmm. And when you see those numbers, folks, it's gargantuan.
It is.
I mean, like, it's essentially like an offset cost or an avoided cost.
Yes.
Somebody would have had to do that. Somebody would have, and like, because people are willing to volunteer, it just saves the whole community overall.
Right. And many of our nonprofits couldn't operate. I mean, look at Big Brothers Big Sisters. They literally couldn't do that without volunteers. Same thing for like our food pantries, our DV shelters, our reading mentors. We could not do those programs without volunteers. So it's important, and to track those hours, our website actually does that. And you can see as an individual, if you track those hours, you can look at it'll show you like an overall nice little pie chart of the volunteer hours you've done. You can see your volunteer resume over time, which is really great, especially if you're a student applying for scholarships, or anybody really. And then it'll show you the dollar amount, the value of your volunteer time that you've committed, and you can set that over any kind of time frame. So your entire time that you've been on the website, the past year, whatever it looks like. And you can track volunteer hours that aren't needs or volunteer opportunities associated with our website. It can be maybe you volunteer to teach Sunday school. You can enter that on the website as long as there is an email for somebody that can confirm, yes, Chris taught Sunday school, or whatever that need is that's not on the website. So
trust but verify.
It's great. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. And I think that's just, it's an important component too, to make sure that the data is legitimate and accurate. But with that, RAGBRAI is coming up, and so right now, the link, if you're interested in volunteering, it's just a sign-up sheet, and that link is a Google Doc on the Chamber's website. And then once we know specific volunteer opportunities, that will be on our volunteer website. But right now, we are looking for volunteers for RAGBRAI. So if you're interested, go to the Chamber's website, put that information on a Google Doc, and once we have the specific opportunities available, I will email everybody and say, here's your link, go check it out, sign up for what you want to.
And when you get that, make sure we've got it and we'll put
Yes,
it out as well.
awesome,
So.
perfect. And then last thing, Live United photo shoot. So we're having that on June 29th. If any community members or area nonprofits are interested in participating, you get a free Live United t-shirt. I'm excited this year. We're having different colors and they're all gonna be school colors. So
cool.
like, if you are a Muskie, we'll have purple and yellow. Wilton will be, of course, blue and yellow. L&M, black and yellow, and then West Liberty is blue and white. So those color choices are available for everybody, and you just need to sign up by June 5th so that we can get those shirts ordered, and we would love to have people participate.
You know, the one thing, you know, it's funny you mentioned the colors, and the thing that's just going through my mind is, of course, we just got through doing the graduation edition, and like every high school, all the kids are online and everything, and we color coordinated it for each school like that. Durant, Wilton, and West Liberty, their colors are all really similar.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. Like, I mean, you think about them individually, but yeah, I mean, it's blue and white, blue and yellow, blue and white, blue. Like, it's just like a whole blue sea up there.
Absolutely.
But it was kind of cool, huh? Anyway, so yeah, so the photo shoot, just reach out to you, of course.
Yep.
Question, totally, I got to go back a half a step. You think you're going to do another night at the races?
You know, we are doing our follow-up recap meeting in a
figured.
couple weeks, and so it's going to be, I think, you know, a group conversation and a group discussion. So I can't promise you one way or another yet.
Well, I didn't know if you guys had had that yet or not.
Yeah,
so
no, not yet. We were hoping to schedule it, but with me having Day of Carings, the next week, I had to push it back another week, and then people have vacations, and Shane's in Houston for a conference this week, so we had to push it out a little ways.
Well, as soon as you decide, let us know.
Yeah, we'll do.
Well, Hilary, thanks for stopping in. Again, pancake breakfast next Friday, 7 to 9, Crossroads.
Yes.
Kids first. Go have some pancakes.
We hope to see you there.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Muscatine, we will see you.